Hello and welcome everyone. Today I'll be working on an Xbox Series X that need an HDMI port replacement. So let's get started. So first thing, I will just like to make sure that none of these pins are broken. And just a little bit tap to each one. Seems that all of them are soldered properly. If you take a look at the actual port from this side, you can tell that here we got one of these pins are bent. The bottom side is a little bit open, and this one also completely bent. So for that reason we are going to change this HDMI port. So let's get it started, and before I start applying any heat on the board, I will prepare the new HDMI port by pre-tinning all the pins. This one is a little bit bent, so I'll just straighten it out. Here, here, here. Okay. This one also same idea. Just a little bit here, left and right, and applying flux on these 4 through hole connector. A little bit here on the pins. And the really whole idea of doing that to make sure that there is a good penetration once I put the charging port, the HDMI port. I gotta make sure to use the right solder tip. For this pre-tinning, I like to use something that a little bit wide. Those sharp end is not really a good one to use here. Here. Don't really need too much. Okay, here. Okay. So, add this pre-tin. And here, it's exact same idea. And you guys can really tell the difference with and without flux. Just this kind of repair without flux is not really going to work at all. Here, clean my tip, suck any solder left. Sometimes I can wick it too if it really gives me a hard time to get it all out. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. Just make my life a lot easier and quicker. Here. Nothing out yet. This wick is a piece of garbage. Anyway. It's a good idea to apply flux on the actual wick. It makes your life a lot easier. And here, we'll take this out. Here. And here. Perfect. So now my HDMI port is ready. Here I'll share with you guys how it looks like. Got it all pre-10, and I believe I have to pre-10 those as well. Because also this is part of the pins that hold the port in its place. Here, I already applied flux. Just a little bit much than what I need. Perfect. So I got a load out. So this HDMI is good. Now, pull this completely out of my desk just to start heating it up from the bottom. Using a heat gun. Just the best, quickest way to get this done properly. Then apply heat from the bottom side of it. Put a little bit of a flux. Not too much. And here, just put a little bit of a heat. I mean, it's not basically a little, it's 500 Celsius. About inch and a half far away from the actual board. It's gonna take about 30 seconds, I believe, to melt. And normally with these ports, there is a glue right between the board and the port, so kind of you have to jack it a little bit up. But you really don't want to do this unless you make sure that the solder is melt, otherwise you're gonna pull out all the pads. So one of the very important things that you don't want to really miss, rather than 10-20 minutes job is going to be a lot harder. So if you guys notice here, this is got melt. This one here, these ones I can just tap them. And here this part is good. Now let's start pulling it out. And that's the glue that I'm talking about here. I'm gonna scrap this very quickly because I don't want to cool down and then heat it one more time. So here, more flux, and then I got the new chart. The new port is good to go. We'll just have it to sit properly here. It takes a little bit time until it for the solder to remelt again, just because the actual port is a little bit cold. Takes a little bit while until it reaches the temperature here. And a little bit of a more flux. Tap it, tap it, tap it. I make sure that it's set in the right position. That looks all good. So now is the time to inspect your work. Make sure that all of these pins are well soldered. The way it looks like, I can tell they're all good. but it never been a bad idea just to give each one of these a tap to make sure that they are well connected. But again, from the way it looks like, I'm pretty sure that they are all good. But if you don't want to waste your time, check it one time and you're all set. Just my table is a little bit hot, so it's not really letting me to do this precisely, but let's see. Good, 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 and good. So we got this soldered properly. I'll share the side with you guys so you can take a look at how this work's supposed to be done, how it should be looks like, and making sure together that there is a good penetration for all of the pins, especially the through hole ones that hold the port in its place. So here, this is how it looks like, and the back side as well, as good as the manufacturer. We're just gonna give it a very good clean, and that's pretty much it. And as you guys know, cleaning this flux is one of the very important things that you have to do. If you're not gonna clean it, don't even bother to do this kind of a job, because it's gonna really ruin things by the time. So you get your job done, you clean the flux very well. You know, there's no any other reason that you wanna reopen the device for a different problem that occurred due to the remaining flux on the board. So you clean, clean, clean. Here, a little bit more. Normally my phone doesn't stop ringing, but when I'm streaming or recording a video, it's really very hard for me to answer. But the second I finish my work, and then I will recall the customer and see what has to be done. So here, this is the last view of the work. What I always like to do, just to put the board into an angle to make sure that there is no any connection from underneath the actual port. Very important part to do, especially with the PlayStation. But this one all looks good. Got cleaned very well. I always like to inspect the actual port. Sometimes from the heat it might just affect it a little bit, but this looks good, so I'll give it a little bit of a clean. Just brush, 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 brush. And I like to give it a good cleaning as well, just with the air gun here. And we got this up and running. And normally we give any devices that we receive here like a, I would say, mandatory cleaning, just to make sure that everything cleaned well, and we put a new thermal paste, test it very well before we call the customer and let them know that the device is good to go. That's it for today. Hope you learned something.